I'm Lazy B, justice seeker, story keeper, and we're still watching, waiting for justice.
Hey, everybody. I missed y'all so much last night. I just, when you're like in a trial, like watching one, and you go do something with friends, but all you can think about is this trial. That was me. I am really annoyed with how bad the audio was today, but tell me what y'all are thinking. Your Patriot Lady's going to come back. The two watched it all 8 days, saw a chat that overwhelmingly says he won't be convicted. I see otherwise thoughts. There were a lot of people saying that about Corey Richins, though. I don't listen to those chats that much, the two. Good to see you, John Smith and Taterbug. I just want to know what all of y'all are thinking. Good to see you here for today. And Mia, tennis girl. Where are you tonight, tennis girl? Are you traveling? I feel like the live court chats, the two, like that's just a different group. And as my husband always reminds me, majority of YouTube people are bots. So, True Crime Wifey, good to see you. Thanks for y'all for hitting like. Hey, Sharon. Marianne, good to see you. I've been trying to decide like where to go because I wanted to kind of do some summaries from yesterday and then some from today, but then the audio was horrible this morning. I tried to listen to a little bit of it at work. I don't know about the sidebar, but we'll get there. Oh, good, tennis girl, you're at home. Yeah, I don't know what to think. Mrs. P is a B. So it was interesting to see how her testimony when she was called by the state and she's in I don't know if it was a Chanel sweater. She had her Perrier water bottle and she was just like this with no emotion. And then she's all crying and stuff. And then she had like a generic water bottle, I thought that was very telling. So, this is a girl that was on the boat, and True Crime Wifey texted me and said that it was different than the boat diagram that we saw. So I'm trying to figure that out. Tance, you said the sound guy should get 20 years for ear murder. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really hard. I saw some channels streaming it. There's really nothing you can do. I mean, if you record it and go back, you can reduce noise, but Dreamscape, I wasn't one of those chats today. I'm trying to understand where they're coming from, but the damn man is guilty. So many prosecutor criticisms. She's really grown on me. I like her precision. I thought it was weird too how yesterday they were using the phone, like scrolling through a phone. I've just never seen anything like that. Like, do you not have to admit evidence? True Crime Wifey judge actually looked up from her phone today in the afternoon. She still did not stop Pino from shaking his head and nodding. Yeah. Thank you, Mia. A suggestion to anyone who's not already done so, go to your filter and select all comments. Otherwise, you will not see all of them. All right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and start this of this young lady. So what was it? Her mom is the cousin of Miss Pino or something like that.
Yes.
What school do you go to?
I go to Clemson University.
What are you studying?
I'm studying language and international health.
When do you graduate?
I graduate in May of 2027.
Okay, this was yesterday, by the way. I'm just going to do a little bit and then I'll do some today.
Do you know the Pino family?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us how you know the Pino family?
Yes, I've known the Pino family my whole life. My mom is cousins with Ceci Georges.
Do you know or did you know Miss Lucy Fernandez?
Yes, I've also known Lucy my whole life.
How did you know Miss Fernandez?
We went to school together since we were 4 years old at Epiphany.
And before September of 2022, did you know Katerina Quig?
Yes.
Can you tell us how you knew Miss Quig?
Yes, Kathy was also one of my closest friends. We also started Epiphany together when we were 4 years old.
Are you still friends?
Yes.
Were you at Ocean Reef with the Pinos the weekend of September 4th, 2022?
Yes.
What were you doing in Ocean Reef that weekend?
That weekend we were celebrating Cecily's 18th birthday.
Were you on a boat on September 4th, 2022?
Yes.
Were you involved in a boating accident that
Yeah.
day?
Yes.
Before the accident, were you at a sandbar?
Yes.
Do you remember the name of the sandbar?
I don't remember.
Do you know how you arrived at the sandbar?
By boat.
Who was driving the boat?
George.
So when you were at the sandbar that day, can you tell us who else was there with you?
Yes. There was 10 girls on the boat, I believe. And there was other boats at the same bar as well.
Do you remember who was on those other boats?
I remember that there was about 4 boats.
Okay. Can you tell us who was on them, if you remember?
Yes, I remember the Suarez family was there, the Fernandez family, the Portuondos, and the Pardos is who I remember.
Okay. Were there also some boys that were at the sandbar as well?
Yes.
Do you remember who some of those boys were?
That's interesting, Dreamscape. The prosecutor said today that she had intended to download that photo from the witness, but the witness has ghosted her. She asked for judicial backing for obtaining the photo for evidence. True Crime Wifey says some YouTubers are rage baiters. True.
I remember a few of them, Diego, Nicholas, and Marco is who I remember. But I know there was probably about 10 of them.
10 in total.
Yes.
Were you consuming alcohol that day?
Yes.
Do you remember how many drinks you had approximately?
I don't remember exactly how many I had, but I know I had a seltzer and a beer.
When you were at the sandbar at any point, do you remember if you ever saw Mr. Pino holding?
Yeah, Carrie, they went on vacation and then they were on the 30A and the Panhandle, like at Rosemary Beach, and it was the first time he had smiled.
An alcoholic drink in his hand?
No.
Do you remember having any conversations with Mr. Pino at the sandbar?
No.
And at the sandbar, you were mostly spending time with your friends?
Yes.
When you were leaving the sandbar, talk to me about when you were leaving the sandbar and what happened.
So when we got back on the boat, pretty much what I remember is we were dancing on the back of the boat, just really having a great time all together. And then we all took our spot.
Tance, I know you're saying that the Pino's brother and business partner was caught up in a murder for hire scheme in 23. He hired people to kill his wife. Everything I've found online does not indicate they're related. I cannot find one thing. I'm not saying that's wrong, but
And we left.
And was Mr. Pino on this boat as well?
Yes.
Did he seem intoxicated in any way?
No.
Did he seem impaired in any way?
No.
okay. And for Miss Pino to say she only had 1 or 2, but then the prosecutor's like, but here you said 2. So was it 1 or 2? A Yeti is this is like a bigger kind of Yeti, right? But Yetis are pretty big. So if you fill that with Prosecco and Chambord Splash or whatever, that's really like having 3, in my opinion.
So this accident, did it happen on the way back from Billy's Point back to Ocean Reef?
Yes.
Where were you sitting on the boat, if you remember?
I was sitting towards the front of the boat.
And so during the boat ride back from Billy's Point, can you describe how that boat ride felt?
It felt like nothing out of the ordinary. We were, again, just all really happy and enjoying our time together.
How did the speed of the boat feel to you?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Did you ever tell Mr. and Mrs. Pino to slow down or to change the way that they were operating the boat?
No.
And prior to the accident, had you been on a boat before?
Yes.
Do you recall how many times, more or less? I know it's hard to tell, but if you can describe for us how many times you've been on a boat before.
I would consider myself a pretty experienced boater. My family never owned a boat, but I had gone on boats with my friends my whole life.
Had you been on a boat with Mr. Pino before?
Yes.
And This boat ride on September 4th, prior to the accident, did it feel any different than any other boat ride you've taken in your life?
No.
So back to September 4th.
Yeah, I'm not taking a 17-year-old's opinion if an adult was impaired. Nope.
Boat ride from the sandbar to Ocean Reef. What were you and the rest of the girls doing during the boat ride?
I just remember we were really happy, singing, enjoying our time together.
So there was music playing?
Yes.
And you mentioned everyone was sitting. Everyone was sitting on the cushion of the boat?
Yes, in their respective spots.
Was anybody sitting, and I learned this term just the other day, so it's okay if you don't know it. Was anybody sitting on the gunnel of the boat? It's like the railing. See that railing over there, kind of the railing of a boat?
No.
None of the girls were sitting on top of that?
No.
So you were saying that some of the girls were singing and they were dancing in their chairs. Did any of the girls have their hands up in the air?
Yes, I would say a good amount of us probably, as we were singing.
Okay. Now, what happened after the accident, after the impact?
I just remember opening my eyes after the impact and seeing like a lot of white. And the first thing I saw when I opened my eyes was George, and I thought he was dead. I saw a lot of blood gushing, and then my friends were telling me that I had to get out of the boat.
Okay, I need to know what Brill cream is. Tell me all about it. Is it self-tan or what is it?
By the time I was going to get off the boat, it was kind of almost flipped. So instead of jumping from the boat, I practically stepped into the water because of how tilted it was. And then I honestly, I don't remember much. I just swam, and I swam to where Ceci was with Kati, and I tried to help her keep her afloat. And then at that point we saw the rescue boat. And I was just helping wave them down until they were nice enough to help.
So my husband used to have what are those called? Inboard or whatever ski boat years ago. And I asked him, I said, 47 miles an hour. What do you think? And he's like, I mean, yeah, it's fast. I said, well, is it like ridiculous? And he's like, no, I mean, it's fast. He's like, I wouldn't go that fast with kids on the boat, but I don't know.
Get Kati onto that boat.
Hair grease.
Okay, so a moment ago you mentioned that you thought Mr. Pino was dead. This was after the impact. Can you tell us why you thought that? How did he look to you?
Yes, I just thought that because there was a lot of blood gushing from his head and he seemed unconscious.
Do you remember if his eyes were open or closed?
I don't remember.
At some point you said you ended up in the water. Do you remember if anyone said to jump into the water? Did you hear anybody call that out?
Yes. I don't remember exactly who it was, but I know people were telling me I had to get out.
Do you remember if it was a female voice or a male voice that said to jump?
Definitely a female voice.
I don't understand how they weren't all thrown from the boat. Does that shock? I mean, I know some of them were, but that shocks me.
One more, Your Honor. No further questions.
You know what shocked me about this right here? Look at the cheap pen he's using. Those are the cheapest pens you can buy. Was it somebody on here that was saying they think there's a secret camera in his lapel pin? Oh, there it is. Oh my God, I didn't know they were going to zoom in. That is painful, seeing Lucy's parents. I think that was the same pen.
Hi there.
Hi.
My name's Laura Adams. So I know this is really hard, okay? But I want to ask you a few questions about that day that the boat crash happened, okay? Were you or any of the other girls wearing life jackets, either to the sandbar or on the way back?
No.
I know you said that you didn't notice well, first off, do you see George Pino in the courtroom?
Yes.
Can you please point to and describe what he's wearing so that our record will be clear?
Yes, he's right over there and wearing a blue tie.
No, I don't think he has a camera. I just think it's people spreading rumors.
I want to ask you if on the day that this incident happened, I know you said that you had consumed some alcohol.
Yes.
Some of that alcohol came from the boat that Mr. and Mrs. Pino brought you there to the sandbar, right?
Yes, I got my alcohol from that boat and others as well.
Okay. Did you feel like you were drunk, about to pass out?
No,
Did you feel a little buzzed?
at the maximum, but I did not feel impaired.
Okay, but buzzed, right? Happy, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I was buzzed, not impaired. Have you ever seen the billboards? You know, like in Tennessee, they have those billboards where they type in like crafty little messages. It says buzzed driving is drunk driving.
Gotcha. So now you'd agree that maybe people that are buzzed from alcohol are not the best judges of whether somebody else is also buzzed from alcohol, right?
Yes.
Okay. And obviously at this party, you weren't there to hang out with the defendant and his wife. You were there to hang out with your friends and the other boys that were there. Fair to say?
Yes.
So you weren't keeping an eye on everything that the defendant, George Pino, was doing, were you?
No.
And you've known him for a long
Look, teenagers do not give a F about adults. They're not watching him when they're like, did you see him with a beer? No. So teenagers, those girls are all just talking about boys and like, oh my God, do you think he likes me?
time, correct?
Yes.
And you had faith and trust that he'd be able to safely take you and your friends back to Ocean Reef for the party that was going to be that night, right?
Yes.
And because you had trust in him, you weren't turning around and looking to be like, oh my gosh, where's this man going to go, were you?
No.
I want to show you a little diagram. It's got a number 11 on it. It's in evidence. I know it's been a long time, but do you think if looking on this exhibit, you'd be able to let us know where you were seated on the way back?
Yes.
Where? Number 12? Why don't you write your name right there by number 12?
Are y'all talking about weird science? The guy turned into a frog and Tater says it was a horny toad.
So, Ms. Carter Herrera, so you're at seat number 12, right?
Yes.
And so if you're at seat number 12, you're kind of actually facing more toward the back of the boat, right?
I think this is so weird how they carry this picture that you basically get off of a copier to the jury. I am just shocked in Miami. I mean, y'all would think we are in some small town in Alabama or something, that they don't have like little monitors where they can see exhibits. This is just craziness.
Yes.
Oh, brother, we're on.
So in order to see what was ahead of you, if you're here at seat number 12, you'd have to be looking like this, right?
Yes.
But you weren't doing that, were you?
No.
Because you trusted that Mr. Pino would get you back safe.
Yes.
Do you remember the, let's say, 5-10 seconds prior to when that crash happened?
I would say 10 seconds before, yes.
And tell us exactly what you were doing then.
I was singing with my friends.
Okay. Did anybody stand up?
No.
In those last 10 seconds, were people
Yeah, they were singing, they were being loud. It's distracting. Teenagers are distracting. And like that shrill they were doing, he was watching the boobies.
holding up their hands to block the defendant's view?
People were waving their hands as they were singing. I'm not exactly sure if they were directly above, but I don't believe so.
Okay. So from your vantage point, there was nothing anybody was doing at the front of that boat that would have made it impossible
No.
for the defendant to see what's in front of him, right?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, wait, actually, I did want to ask you something. Showing you seats exhibit number 1.
Yeah.
This was your friend Lucy, right?
Yes.
And you knew her for how long?
My whole life since we started visiting at 4 years old.
I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. I don't have anything else. Questions, Judge?
Oh, thank you. This is excused. Thank you.
The poor parent.
Yes.
The defense calls Natalia Reed.
Yeah, so I guess though they hold those exhibits up and just like walk down in front of the jury, and then I guess they'll send all that back to the jury room when they deliberate.
Natalia Reed.
Daniel, interesting. I live in Miami. Shoddy court conditions and budgets are indicative of the lack of emphasis of any kind of truth and justice across the board. It's not by accident. I was thinking if he gets acquitted, there might be a new courthouse called the George Pino Courthouse. He might build one.
Please step forward, face the clerk, raise your right hand and swear.
Yeah, I think it's so weird that they even show the jurors' shoes. And then I was watching, I think maybe it was from yesterday. It was last night. I was checking out some highlights, and they show the jurors like basically up to the shoulders taking a seat. I can't believe that's allowed.
You put your voice down according to the microphone. And see, it's this way, but the jury's this way, so keep your voice down. Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Reed. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Good morning. I'm Natalia Reed.
And how old are you?
I'm 21.
I need you to speak on.
Sorry, I'm 21.
Are you in school right now?
Yes,
Where are you studying?
I go to Brown University,
What are you studying?
economics.
And are you currently interning or working
These girls all went to some great colleges, though.
somewhere right now?
Yes, this summer I'm doing a management consulting internship
Do you know where? Can you tell us where?
in New York City.
Thank you for joining us. this
Thank you.
afternoon. Do you know the Pino family?
Yes, I do.
Tell us how you know them.
I went to elementary school with little Sissy, and I've known the Pinos since then. We went to Epiphany together, which was our elementary school.
Did you know Lucy Fernandez?
Yes, we also went to elementary school together.
And before September of 2022, did you know Catalina Puig?
Yes, we also went to elementary school together.
Are you still friends with Ms. Puig?
Yes,
Were you at Ocean Reef with the Pinos on the weekend of September 4th of 2022?
yes.
Tell us what you were doing in Ocean Reef that weekend.
It was little Sissy's 18th birthday, and the Pinos had taken us to celebrate for the weekend.
Were you involved in a boating accident that weekend?
Yes,
Did this accident occur when you were on your way back to Ocean Reef from a sandbar?
I kind of felt like the court audio was bad on purpose today. Did anybody else feel that way?
yes,
And before leaving the sandbar, did you spend some time there?
yes, we did.
Who was at the sandbar that day?
Like name everyone there, or
From what you remember, yes. please.
George and Sissy mom, little Sissy, and some of the girls were Claudia, Pao Garcia, Camila, Kathy, Lucy, Carolina, Coco, Mia.
Did some boys join you at the sandbar that day?
Yes,
Do you remember some of their names?
yes. Diego Suarez, Marco was there, Nicholas Garcia. That's pretty much who I remember.
Okay. Were you consuming alcohol that day at the sandbar?
Yes,
Do you know how many drinks you had?
I remember having 2 or 3. I don't remember feeling impaired or intoxicated.
That is BS. If you were doing 1 for 1, like that other girl that testified that had 10, and this girl saying she only had 2 or so, I don't believe that.
And when you were at the sandbar, did you see Mr. Pino with any kind of alcoholic drink in his hand?
No, I did not see that.
And were you mostly spending time with your friends there?
Yes,
Okay. And when you were leaving the sandbar, were you on the boat with Mr. Pino?
yes,
Did Mr. Pino seem intoxicated to you in any way?
no,
Did he seem impaired to you in any way?
no.
And now that boat ride back from the sandbar heading back to Ocean Reef, do you remember where you were sitting on the boat?
I was sitting at the front of the boat. Yeah, at the front.
Do you remember who was next to you?
I don't remember exactly who was next to me. I think Andrea Knopfler, maybe Albert. His eyes were closed as I remember. Again, it was a split second, so it was a little hazy, but I remember him. He had blood on his head, I think, and I remember thinking he was dead for that split second. No,
I'm fast forwarding.
On the day of this boat crash, was Kati able to walk around and talk and sing and dance?
yes,
Josh.
Thank you, Judge. The defense attorney asked you about who drove the boat up to the sandbar and back. I think
Good question, Mrs. G. Hi, y'all. I've watched this in real time from the beginning. Since the court won't allow real-time chat, why isn't he charged in just the death? All 3 hurt and sued. You mean why isn't he charged in the injury of the others? It's a good question. I saw that, Maestro. Leslie, the other day, Tallahassee Democrat channel had a Charlie Adelson live up, but nothing happened, right? I swear I saw you in the live chat before it's leave. Yeah, I wrote, what's going on? And then it said test. I'm like, well, what are they testing?
You said his name was what?
George Pino.
Do you see that person in court today?
Yes,
Can you please point to him and describe what he's wearing so our record is clear?
he's wearing a suit and a blue tie.
Okay.
So stipulated.
Now, on the day that you all were having this party, it was to celebrate his daughter Ceci's upcoming 18th birthday, right?
Yes,
None of you guys were 21 yet at that point, right?
no,
But Mr. and Mrs. Pino had provided in a cooler drinks, including alcoholic drinks that you all wound up drinking that afternoon, right?
there was seltzers in the cooler. Yes.
And those seltzers had alcohol in them,
Yes.
right? And there was some beer in there too?
Yes,
Okay. And the Pinos didn't say, hey, girls, this is off limits, not for you. They didn't do that, did they?
no, that I remember.
Okay. And so you didn't feel any, fear that you were going to get into trouble for drinking those seltzers or beers, anything like that, did you?
No,
Okay. Now, were you there at that sandbar to hang out with George Pino and his wife?
we were there to celebrate Sissy's 18th birthday.
Were you there mostly though hanging out with your friends?
Yes,
So you're not like watching George Pino every minute to see how much, if any, alcohol he's drinking, are you?
I don't remember watching to see if he was drinking alcohol. No.
He wasn't your focus, right?
No.
Mhm.
Your friends were your focus.
Yes,
Okay. Now, it's been a long time. You're
So the girl that said she drank 10, like, I'm going to believe her testimony because she admitted to drinking 10. Like, kudos to her because most kids would say 2 or 3.
not gonna get in any trouble, okay? But that afternoon, do you think that you got to a point where you were like falling down drunk?
no.
Do you think maybe you felt a little buzzed from the alcohol?
Yeah, I remember having like 2 or 3 seltzers, so I felt a bit buzzed.
Okay.
2 or 3.
In your buzzed state, did you tell George Pino, hey, I want to check and see if you're impaired by alcohol?
No,
And do you think that maybe people who are buzzed are not the best shape to determine who else might be buzzed?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maestro, I'm just glad you're confirming that you saw that because I thought I was going crazy. And then this morning when I woke up, I'm like, did that happen yesterday or was that a dream? Because then I couldn't find it. That was so strange.
You've been in college.
Yes,
Have you seen people buzzed?
Coincidence.
Okay. Now, when you all were coming back from the sandbar to get back to Ocean Reef, was music playing?
yes, I remember.
What kind of music was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly.
But it was loud enough that you could hear it even over the sound of the engines and the boat going through the waves, right?
Yeah, I remember hearing the music.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to show you an exhibit, and it's labeled as States Exhibit number 11. It's kind of like a cartoon diagram, sort of the boat and the different seats where people could be. Okay. Do you see on this exhibit a location where you remember that you were sitting when this boat crash happened?
I believe I was at 5 or 6.
Okay, so I'll tell you what, let's do this. We'll put arrow to both. Can you put your name on there?
Sure.
And I'm going to put a little question mark because you're not sure which of those 2 seats you're at.
I
Is
don't
that
remember
okay?
exactly.
Okay. So pretty much where my finger's pointing to?
I like the prosecutor too. A lot of people don't like her, but I like her. She's passionate, which I love.
Where you were seated on that vessel, if I were to put myself, let's say, here, in order for you to see what's in front of the boat, you'd have to turn around this way, right?
I'm sorry?
For you to see what was in front of the boat, given where you were seated, you'd have to turn and look kind of behind you to see what's in front of the boat, right?
In front of the boat, yes.
Okay.
I would have to turn to
So
the
where you were seated, if you were looking across, you're looking kind of more toward where the back of the
Okay, enough of the teenager. I think we should watch Mrs. Pino.
Keep your voice nice and low to the
This is
microphone.
from
The mouth
yesterday.
in one direction, the joints in the other direction.
So I've noticed a couple things. One, she brought like a Deer Park water bottle instead of Perrier. She's also just wearing like navy. And I also noticed, I mean, she has a diamond wedding band on, but I guarantee you she has some big rock solitaire. She didn't have that on. They're trying to like tone it down.
Together.
Hey, anybody in here that loves deep dives, you need to follow True Crime Wifey. I just put her channel in the chat. She's got lots of intel.
No, we're good. Okay.
Very good.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Pino.
Good afternoon.
My name is Ed Armelino. I represent your husband, George Pino. You've met me before?
Yes.
We've discussed this case before?
Yes.
Last week, you testified in front of the jury, correct?
Yes.
Was that the first time that you've ever testified in the trial?
Yes.
Is it safe to say you're nervous?
Yes.
So let's start easy. Can you please turn to the jury and tell them your name?
My name is Cecilia Pino.
And how old are you?
I am 51.
How long have you been married?
I think they also probably told her not to get Botox or something. Does anybody else feel like that?
And we've been married for 25 years.
And who are you married to?
George Pino.
Can you point to George in the courtroom and identify him by an article of clothing?
He's wearing a black suit and a white shirt and blue tie.
Do you need water or tissue? Okay. What do you do for work?
I work at my husband's company. I'm in charge of marketing and social media and event planning.
So what's the name of your husband's company?
State Street Realty.
Do y'all think she really works there? I would be shocked.
Did you go to college?
I did.
Where'd you go?
I went to the University of Florida and I graduated with a marketing degree.
And do you do marketing now for your husband's company?
Yes.
Yeah,
Prior to working for your husband's company, did you have other jobs?
I did. I worked in retail. I worked in public relations and public relations.
wait, who asked about Katie? Oh, when she says, hold on, I'll go back. This one, when she asked about Katie, how she's not saying.
So as you're seated there, number 9 and the name Lucy is that where you remember that Lucy was seated that afternoon?
Yes.
Okay. After that crash, were you one of the girls that was brought by the police over to an island while, they were trying to sort out everything that had happened?
Yes.
And some of the other girls that were not badly injured were brought there too, right?
Yes.
And during that time, did you see the defendant at that island?
Yes.
And the police, they didn't have him in handcuffs, did they?
Not that I remember. No.
He was able to walk around, right?
Yep.
Did you have any kind of interaction with him?
I think we had a brief interaction. I don't remember what it was about, but I remember seeing him.
Okay. And then I just wanted to ask you, I'll show you a picture. It's in evidence. And it states exhibit number 1 in evidence. Is this your friend Lucy?
Yes.
And you knew her for how long?
Since elementary school.
Thank you. I don't have any more questions for you. I'm sorry for yours.
I'm sorry. But I did see that where she asked about Katie, like she's not the same girl today.
Company. I worked in pharmaceutical sales.
And then eventually, how did you come to work for his company?
When he started the company, I wanted to help him and I had a public relations and marketing background. So that is what I do for the company. I send out press releases, work on Instagram and social media and marketing, and any events I help coordinate.
Do you and George have any children?
We do. We have 2 daughters,
And what are their names?
Carolina and Cecilia.
And when were they born?
And Carolina was born in 2003 and Ceci was born in 2004.
When they were born, did you take any time off work or did you work through that? How did that work?
I did. I was in pharmaceutical sales at the time, and my husband and I decided that I would stay home and raise my girls.
Did you, as they grew up, were you involved heavily in the schools?
Yes. Both my girls went to Epiphany School, and which is also where George and I went. And I was very involved in the school. I've always been involved in their schools, whether it's as a room mom, the mom when they play soccer, like in charge of the team mom. They eventually went to a different school, and I was a mentor liaison there, which coordinated when new families would come and would help connect those families to existing families. And I was involved there and in their extracurricular that they did for the school. I helped. They called me there the soccer mom as well.
You said you were a room mom. What does that mean?
Room mom is like when each class has a parent, a room parent. It can be a dad as well, and you help the teacher coordinate if there's activities, or you're the liaison between the teacher and the parent.
So as a room mom, did you become familiar with any of the students that were in the class?
Yes,
And were any of those students friendly with your daughter?
yes,
Do you remember at Epiphany any of the girls who you were a room mom for that class?
yes. My girls have had a lot of their friends have been lifelong friends from their days at Epiphany and high school too.
And we'll get there, but eventually on September 4th, 2022, there was a boating accident, right?
Yes,
And there were, how many girls were on the boat that were friends with your daughter?
there were 11 girls on the boat. And so Sassy has had a relationship, my daughters from Epiphany, when they started in pre-K4 with most of these girls. Kathy, Claudia, Lucy, Natalie, Carolina, they all went to Epiphany together.
And when they went to Epiphany from that young age, did they come over your house a lot too?
Yes,
And when they would come over, would Mr. Pino be there too?
yes,
Did Mr. Pino know those girls?
yes, we have known those girls and we've loved those girls since they were little.
And let's talk about your husband a little bit. You said you were married for 25 years.
Yes,
So when you, where did you go to college?
George went to FIU.
And what did he do after that?
He,
Judge of relevance, Your Honor.
Oh,
George has always had, he's always worked, and after college, he got into property management. And property management is, you have like a big business park commercial. He worked for a company and he was a property manager for that company. So he was in charge of making sure the landscape was maintained, the buildings were maintained. Making sure the tenants were happy. If they needed the building painted, they would let him know. So he was very good at building relationships with people. Eventually, that company had a real estate division, and people saw him, and they kind of brought him over to the real estate division. And that is how he got involved in commercial real estate. And he's loved that job. He's very good at it. He's a people person and a very hard worker. And he opened up his company in 2011.
So you opened that company up after he learned the ropes first through
Yes.
the years?
Yes.
Okay. On September 4th, 2022, were you and your family members of the Ocean Reef Club?
Yes, we were.
And how long were you members of Ocean Reef Club?
We've been members of the Ocean Reef Club since 2004.
You were what's called social members, right?
Yes.
So if they've been members since 2004, that makes me think they're still members.
We were social members, and we would spend a lot of our summers there. We would go there. We actually found, George found a house that they rented to us for, I think it was like $1,000 a month, and we would go there for, but it started first just
$1,000 a month. I don't buy that.
going weekends, and then we eventually started going, we'd rent for like 3 months. And George would commute back and forth, because the commute wasn't even it was sometimes better than our Kendall home too.
Let me stop you. So
Okay.
you said George, meaning Mr. Pino, would commute to Ocean Reef Club and then back to your home?
Yes,
And your home was in Miami-Dade?
yes,
And was Mr. Pino working through the
No.
summer while that was happening?
yes. What I meant is he would sometimes commute, like all the girls and I, if we were there in Ocean Reef, he would commute from Ocean Reef sometimes to work because the traffic is sometimes better. That was faster that way.
So she's trying to downplay that they're loaded, but they basically went to Ocean Reef for the summer.
And from our Kendall home to Iraq.
Okay, so depending on where he was going then.
Yes, yes, but we would spend the summers there, and, my friends would laugh because he would, when he would take off time, it would be, they would call it Camp George, and he's always been very active, very involved with the kids. He loved to plan, today we're gonna wake up and we're gonna play pickleball and tennis, and we're gonna go on the boat, and we're gonna go snorkeling, and I'm more, like, I like to just relax and read a book or something, and he's always been very active and loved to do any activities that were going on.
So you mentioned a boat. The blue boat,
Yeah. Yeah. Pure Crime Wifey makes a good point. So she worked in social media and like planning and things, but then she said she didn't plan her daughter's party.
big one.
Hey, Rose and Rodeo. Hey, Rosie. Forensic.
Sign it.
This courtroom is such a mess. Look at these files over here. I think they must share this with other people, but it's just boxes.
The showing the witness, what's been marked as for ID, marked for ID as Exhibit 1H. Just for reference, this boat is the boat that was in the accident on September 4th, 2022.
Yes,
Okay, so prior to this boat, did you and your family own another boat?
yes, we did. It was a yellow boat.
No, just demonstrative. The other boat that you owned previously, what kind of boat was it? Do
It
you
was
remember?
a yellow robot as well.
Showing the witness what's been marked for ID as Exhibit A22.
Should I just go on to cross with her?
Well, I'm showing, oh, the state, yes, showing the state. Now showing the witness what's been marked as A22. Mr. Pino, take a look at that. Do you recognize that?
Yes, this is our yellow boat.
Is that the boat that you previously owned to the blue boat?
Yes,
And you've seen this picture before?
yes.
So did it offer A22 into evidence?
No objection.
From that point forward.
He was my best friend.
Did he know Mr. Pino that long?
No.
When did he meet Mr. Pino?
I believe Andy and George got to know each other after I started dating George. Some of the other boys that I was friends with knew George from family. They had known each other since they were little.
And
I feel like she kind of crouches up in the witness stand against that the judge's desk. In my opinion, like no one else really does that, but it's almost like she doesn't want Andy to see her. Has anybody else thought that, or is it just me? Because I mean, she's been friends with Andy Fernandez since she was a little girl. I just think it's
were your families close, meaning your family and the Fernandez family when you were little?
Well, my mother was the secretary at Epiphany School, so his parents knew my parents like that.
What about through high school and college? You guys remained friends?
We were very close through high school, all through college. Andy read at my wedding. We were always very close friends.
Your families would vacation together, correct?
We would see
Would your families vacation together?
each other at Ocean Reef in the summers and hang out together.
Okay. I'm going to fast forward a little bit now
Mhm.
to the weekend of Labor Day in 2022. Okay? Do you remember that weekend?
Yes.
So what was the plan for the weekend?
We were celebrating my daughter's birthday and we were going to have some girls. We had rented a house and they were going to stay with us and we were going to go.
So included Andy and Melissa were there?
Correct.
I'm fast forwarding this.
Now,
Well, this whole video must be the.
at the sandbar, you testified, I think last week you had 1 to 2 Prosecco's and, how do you say it?
Chambord,
Chambord. What is that?
a liqueur.
Like a flavor thing?
Yes.
So when you had those 1 to 2 drinks, did you yourself feel impaired?
No.
Did you feel like you were buzzed?
No.
How long were you there at the sandbar?
2 or 3 hours.
Now, at the sandbar, do you know if Mr. Pino was drinking alcohol?
I didn't see him.
Why didn't you see him?
I just didn't when we were there and I was hanging out mostly with the wives. I didn't notice if he was or wasn't having. I honestly don't remember. I didn't see him.
All right, so you, when you say you didn't see him, did you physically see him?
Yes, he was there. Everybody was together. It wasn't, I know he was there. I just don't.
And let's go back to the list. Got that list back. Of the 15 adults approaching the witness with defense exhibit T, You say you was talking to the wives. How many wives are there that you were hanging out with?
5, 6 women.
Okay. Can you say their names?
Yes. Lourdes, Margie, Tiffany, Melissa, Kelly, and Kelly's friend.
You and George would go to sandbars often,
Yes.
and when you would go, would this be common for you to hang out with the wives, George to hang out elsewhere?
Yes.
But you know now that Mr. Pino told the police that he had 2 beers after this accident occurred, right?
Yes.
Would that be something that would be common for him to do at a sandbar?
Yes.
And you've been married to him for 25 years?
Yes.
You've observed him have 2 beers over a couple of hours?
Yes.
When he does that, does Mr. Pino seem drunk to you?
No.
Does he seem buzzed?
No.
Before leaving the sandbar, you both got on the same boat, correct?
Yes.
And you actually, did you sit next to him?
Yes, I did.
I don't object to this communication.
No objection, Judge, to offer 827 and 828 into evidence?
827, mark for identification. Now defense exhibit U. 828, defense exhibit V, as in victim.
I think it's weird how the lady that does that takes the evidence and all that. It's like a different person every day. So I'm going to the cross of,
Repeating numbers? Okay, well, the last page, is that your signature there?
Yes.
And the date is what?
October 19, 2023.
Now, does it say, "I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States"? You see that paragraph?
Yes.
What does the last part of that sentence say? Can you read it?
Foregoing interrogatories are true and correct to the best of my knowledge.
And at the time that you signed, the accident occurred.
Because that is how I understood the.
And you and your husband raised them to honor the church, right?
Yes.
And to be religious.
Yes.
And that meant teaching them right from wrong, correct?
Yes.
And it also meant teaching them things like taking responsibility for your actions, correct?
Yes.
And it also meant teaching your children that actions have consequences, didn't it?
Yes.
But your husband isn't just your husband and the father of your children, he's also your business partner, isn't he?
I work for him.
And certainly with him being the chief executive officer at State Street Realty with $1.75 billion in sales, certainly you would agree that he's in a better financial position to make money than you are, correct?
He's the breadwinner.
Okay. And throughout your marriage, you all have enjoyed a robust social life, haven't you?
We're social, yes.
And you have
we're social members of the Ocean Reef Club. Yeah, this is Miami. This is their courtroom here.
many friends that you've socialized with,
Yes.
correct? Gone to parties,
Yes.
played pickleball,
Yes.
played tennis,
Yes.
group gatherings,
Yes.
boating trips together,
Yes.
membership at Ocean Reef Club.
Yes.
Your husband, in fact, was even on the Orange Bowl committee here in Miami, right?
Yes.
To be on the Orange Bowl committee, it's big money.
Now, on the day that his boat crashed into that channel marker, you've already explained to us in your testimony that you had 1 to 2 Yetis with Prosecco and a splash of Chambord, correct?
Correct.
But in your
Yeah, I just think it's interesting, Daniel, how she's like kind of crouched in on that corner. She did that the other day too. She kind of was like back like that. I think it's she's not knowing she's doing that.
interrogatory that you answered under oath, you indicated that you had 2 servings of Prosecco, each with a splash of Chambord, not 1 to 2. You answered 2, correct?
If that's what it says there.
Do you want to look at it?
Sure.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Well, Hazel, YouTube Hazel, YT Hazel, welcomed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm getting down through the chat. Just an observation. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to read every one of your comments. Thanks for being here.
Yes.
So you said in your interrogatory that it was 2 servings, not 1 to 2, correct?
Yes.
Now, your life has changed immensely since your husband crashed into that channel marker, hasn't it?
Yes.
Showing council states 5W and 5X.
Sharon, the judge is playing Candy Crush.
Judge me this number?
Let me see what you have. All right, come on over here. Come on.
And 5W for identification and evidence.
We'll reject.
All right, so noted, and you're objection.
5W micro ID now states exhibit 117, 5X 118.
I'm sorry, 17
117, 118. 18.
Wendy Jones.
These are the images of your grieving husband and just a couple of months after this horrific crash, correct?
Objection, Judge.
Ooh,
Can I explain? That was,
I didn't have any questions for her.
The question
she
was,
wants to explain her response, counsel.
Okay, I understand if I can just get back to the podium first.
Interesting. Sorry. I missed the part where Mrs. Pino makes him look bad when she says she was the one looking for the girls and helping them while she saw him next the boat or on the boat hanging on. Yeah. Right.
What's your explanation?
so the first picture, there was one picture that was taken when we went to get away. For the past 8 years or so, my family, along with Gogo's family, and actually the Fernandezes have gone before, and so have the Quigs. We would go to the Panhandle and vacation there. And this particular year, in 2022, of course, we didn't want to go. The families encouraged us to go, and we went because it was good for the girls and to get away from all the noise, and so we did. And my girls needed that, and my husband, being the incredible father that he is,
Objections to
we
narrative.
went, and he stayed indoors most of the time. And that particular picture was taken when you go to the Panhandle, there's little towns. We stayed in Seaside, and you can drive to Rosemary Beach, and that's where that picture was taken. We went with Claudia's family as well that day. And my eldest posted that picture because it was probably one of the first times she had seen her father smile in a long time. And she posted that picture.
Thank you, Judge.
I love that the prosecutor like scoured their social media.
Now, when
Can I
you,
explain the second picture?
Go ahead.
The second picture is my girls' high school that they go to. Their senior year, they don't, their senior pictures are not traditional pictures where you have the gown that you wear and clothes. You take family photos, so you go to the school and you take a family photo. And my eldest was home from college, and we had to take a picture in December because it's when she was home. And our family got together and we took that picture. That picture was actually posted in March when her best friend's family sued our family. And the motto, she puts in the comment, "Love conquers all," which is their school motto. Love conquers all.
now I noticed that when the defense attorney was asking a lot of questions, you were crying quite a bit. Fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. Your daughter, little Ceci, your namesake, she wasn't badly injured in this crash, was she?
No.
It was not your daughter that was very physically injured in this crash, right?
Right.
And it wasn't your daughter who died as a result of this crash, was it?
No.
It was Lucy's family who lost a child, not yours. Correct?
Correct.
Nothing else.
Counsel, interrupt.
So the young female attorney next to George is not his daughter. It's a rumor, but it's not.
just briefly,
Sure.
Mrs. Pino, did you love Lucy?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question about the interrogatories?
Yes.
approaching the witness with what's in evidence as State's Exhibit 13.
When you look at Andy Fernandez, that is what grief looks like.
See how it's some of there's a number and it's bold, and then it's kind of like an answer that's not bold?
Yes.
Did you type any of these?
No.
Did you write any of these?
No.
How did these get presented to you?
My lawyer prepared it.
So the words, for example, in the answer to number 5, in the non-bold, was that written by you?
No.
Who wrote that?
My lawyer.
He's nodding at her.
A moment.
Yeah, probably did go through a whole bottle. I mean, it's not hard to do, especially out there. You're in the water, you're just drinking and peeing, and y'all know that's what happens.
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you, Mr.
Can I see them just for a moment? Yeah, the court, court.
So is the little Ceci not at the trial? Because that was just the older daughter.
I'm gonna ask the police to be here tomorrow at 10, and
Okay, that was yesterday, but wait, I wanted to see this guy that testified. This, who is this guy?
We cannot do anything else. We are an hour away from home. We need to go. We have no lights, so we decide to go.
So you left before police arrived.
Who's this guy?
yes. Do you have another witness you guys want?
Yes. David Rodriguez.
What's the name?
David Rodriguez.
This guy finally wore a navy suit and not an olive green one.
Do you show affirm testimony about the truth, or truth and nothing but the truth?
I'll tell you what I think. I think when you're out in the sun and you're drinking and all that, you don't really know that you're buzzed until you probably get back even on land or to a house and you're like, whoa, it just kind of hits you. That's my opinion. So none of them like think they were, because then they hit the water and they were all in shock. They had adrenaline pumping. Hey, therapist, good to see you.
So please keep your voice up. Microphone's this way.
Yeah.
Yours is this way. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Please.
Daniel for the best comment of the night. In a perfect world, George Pino somehow would have wound up married to Wendy Adelson. They really do deserve each other. Yeah. And Wendy would have loved it because they would have been in Miami.
Talk to the jury.
My name is David Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez, you know that I'm Mark Shapiro and I represent George Pino. Is that right?
I do.
You and I, prior to today, have had some interaction in connection with this case, correct?
Correct, yes.
By the way, Mr. Rodriguez, did you happen to notice the gentleman that was walking out of the courtroom as you were walking in?
I saw a gentleman going out here.
His last name is Rodriguez as well. Is there any familial relationship with that person?
No.
So just coincidence of the last name?
Yeah.
Mr. Rodriguez, are you a voter?
I am.
Do you consider yourself an avid voter?
Yeah, I think I am.
What type of, do you own a vote?
Yes.
Did you own a vote in September of 2022?
Yes,
Now, you have a cousin who owns a vote as well, is that correct?
that is correct.
And do you recall if you were actually on a boat during the Labor Day weekend in September of 2022?
Yes, I was using my cousin's boat.
Can you describe what your cousin's boat looks like, the make and model, if you know?
It's a 30-foot Cobra Cat. It's a center console, twin engine.
Do you recall what color it is?
It's white.
Does your cousin still own the boat?
Yes,
And do you know where your cousin stores or keeps that boat?
at his house.
In Miami?
Yeah, Miami.
On September 4th, 2022, do you recall being in the Upper Keys area, Key Largo area, Isla Mirada?
Yes, Island Robin.
What were you doing that day?
I was in the sandbar.
Was somebody with you?
Yeah, a friend of mine.
A young lady?
Yes, correct.
Do you recall approximately when you got to that sandbar that day, more or less?
Probably like at 9 a.m.
Now, being that you were on your cousin's boat and that boat is kept at his house, how was it or where was it that you put his boat in the water?
I launched the boat on Crandon Park Marina.
Trailered it over there?
That's correct.
From Crandon Marina, you drove the boat to Islamorada.
Yes.
Do you recall approximately how long or how much time you spent in Islamorada that day?
Since the morning that I was there, the whole day, probably to like 5:30.
You recall what the conditions, the weather conditions and sea conditions were that day?
It was like a very clear day, perfect seas, perfect day, basically.
How would you describe the
Okay, take it to
performance
trial.
capabilities of your cousin's boat that you?
I tuned into your channel a little bit today to see if the audio was bad, but I know there was nothing you could do streaming it live. It was
were
awful.
on that day?
It's like a high performance center.
This guy has been living for this moment. He's got freshly waxed brows. His hair is tan. He's got his sunglasses, his shirt unbuttoned.
Also, it's pretty fast compared to regular boats.
I don't know what the point is.
How many engines are on that boat?
Twin 400 horsepower engines.
What do you think the top speed is of that boat? If somebody wanted to open it up.
Probably 80, the 80s.
I realize it's your cousin's boat, but have you ever driven that boat at 80 miles per hour?
I have, yes.
Do you recall if on September 4th, 2022, at any time you got anywhere near that speed?
Not
I read Pino was worth 1.5 billion with a B, but then I've also read that was his revenue. So, but they have a lot of money.
around that speed, but the 60s.
So between Crandon Marina and your destination at Islamorada, at some point were you cruising in the 60 mile per hour range?
Yeah, for a couple minutes maybe, and average speed 50 miles per hour, 55 miles per hour.
Was there anything about the weather?
Hey, ain't no hollaback girl. Yeah, I think that's why the trial took so long. He wasn't even charged with the manslaughter till 2025. And I think it was Lucy's parents that were demanding it.
Conditions that made it unsafe on that day with those conditions to drive at that speed?
No, it was like a beautiful day,
May I approach you?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what has been marked as Defense Exhibit A16, A17, A18, A19, and A20. I'd ask you to take a look.
So take it to trial. I would say, I think he's guilty, but we're hearing a lot of chatter that a lot of people think he'll be acquitted. But I could also see a hung jury.
At all of these exhibits and let the jury know if you recognize what's depicted in these photographs.
Yes, that's the picture of my cousin's boat, my house.
And is this the boat that we've been talking about this morning that you were on the day of September 4th?
That is correct.
And do these pictures accurately reflect what your cousin's boat looked like on September 4th, 2022?
They do, it has different motors in that picture and the date of the incident, but yeah, it's the same boat.
So the motors on the date of the incident versus when these photographs were taken, what is the difference between the motors?
These are more modern engines, more powerful, but that's about it. Everything else is the same.
What about the color? The color of the...
Yes, these engines, the other engines were white, these were black.
So the engines pictured in defense exhibits A16 through A20
Yeah,
are black.
I agree, Forensic. What bugged me is that Lucy's dad had to disclose he was drinking rum. George, no clue what he tells on camera. Don't you know Lucy's parents every day I would be beating myself up. Like, I saw him drinking and I let her get on a boat with him.
Engines. And
That's right.
and the engine colors on the boat on September 4th were white. Is that right?
That's correct, yes.
May I publish, Judge?
Yes, you may.
I'm sorry. Oh, yes. If there's no objection, I'll approve these into evidence.
See what's been previously marked
You can make it a
for
composite. too.
identification
No?
as defense A16.
Take it to trial. I've read several articles in the Miami Herald, so Which one was it?
Is now Defense Exhibit M.
And Miss Mary?
M is in Mary. At A17, Defense Exhibit N, is in Nancy. 818, Defense Exhibit O.
They call me Queen. I have a feeling he's going to get off scot-free. I hope not.
A19, Defense Exhibit P. A20, Defense Exhibit Q.
Thank you.
Well, murder, the girl who can't dance anymore, they've already settled. So Mrs. Pino had to pay $16 million, and Mr. Pino, it's an undisclosed amount, but it's all a trust that will pay for her medical care for life. So it's big money. And then I think when this trial is over, I think the Fernandezes will sue. But someone said they already heard they've settled, but I don't know if that's true. I wouldn't be surprised either if after this happened, if the Pinos didn't put some stuff, assets protected.
Mr. Rodriguez, these.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's no winners in this.
Back of the boat, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I think I'm just going to go to the neurologist today. I'm just jumping around.
You mentioned confabulation a few moments ago and traumatic brain injury.
I think they cleaned up the audio.
Explain to the jury what a concussion is?
Okay, so I should first go into the terminology because we use them interchangeably. So concussion. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear.
Okay. Concussion and TBI and traumatic brain injury, they're all terms that are used interchangeably. And so how that happens is there's an external force that causes the brain to shake back and forth inside the head. It could be an acceleration, deceleration injury. There could even be a rotational component to that, and it causes a large number of signs and symptoms.
Is there a method by which whether a traumatic brain injury has occurred is evaluated by physicians such as yourself? In other words, is there some criteria that is followed?
Yeah, so the American Congress of Rehabilitation Medicine published a very nice, very clear, concise diagnostic criteria that most of us use to establish.
No, they didn't breathalyzer him. Those aren't used as much as people think they are. And he declined a blood test originally, and then later on he did one.
Whether or not someone had a traumatic brain injury.
Is this a criteria that you have previously used prior to this case?
Yes.
Your Honor, if I could have Dr. Barrett step down, I've shared with the prosecutors in this case a demonstrative exhibit that we would like to share with the jury.
So was he not charged with involuntary manslaughter? Somebody said that. That's what I thought it was.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yeah, we can mark this.
Oh, was he back in olive green today? I think he was. Yeah. I think Mrs. Pino was sued separately because she was still an adult on the boat and somewhat responsible. Maybe not criminally, but civilly.
For the record, this is Defense Exhibit A37 for identification.
80 miles an hour on the boat. All civil claims have been settled, including Lucy's.
Professor?
Yeah. Oh, I can't.
Judge, you able to see?
Just push it back a little bit. No, just.
Carlos, there's a mirror.
There you go. All right.
So it's a little gray, but I think.
Dominic, you can voice up the video, please.
Okay, I'll try. So as I mentioned, these are the diagnostic criteria from the American Congress of Rehabilitation Medicine. And there are a number of ways that you can confirm the diagnosis of traumatic brain injury. They gave us a few different pathways. So you could have just clinical signs, and that would be something that is observed at the scene of an injury. And then there's another pathway, if maybe they weren't witness, or maybe they didn't have any clinical signs that I would hold in.
She was on the stand.
So symptoms would be what the patient reports, so I have a headache, or I feel nauseated, or I feel dizzy. And if they only had acute symptoms without those signs, it has to be paired with clinical examination findings.
You say acute symptoms, what do you mean by acute symptoms?
Things that happen right away, more immediate symptoms, and it would be within 72 hours. If something happens after 72 hours, it might not be from a traumatic brain injury. These criteria wouldn't really apply.
So these are symptoms that you're looking for within the first 72 hours of a traumatic event?
Yes.
And trauma event, is that right?
Yes. And then if they don't have the clinical sign, then they only need one clinical sign. And if they don't have the symptoms plus the clinical examination findings, if there's a neuroimaging abnormality, so the CAT scan showed blood in the brain, or if the MRI showed damage to the brain that looks like it happened, then they would qualify as a traumatic brain injury. And then I'll go into this more later, but criterion 6 is not accounted for by other factors, so maybe somebody is found unconscious and you don't know if they're not. They're just like fainting episode or heart attack on the floor, so they are unconscious, but you don't know how it happened.
So let me direct you to right back up at the top, the criteria of one box, mechanism of injury, in parentheses, plausible. What is being referred to as the mechanism of injury? What is meant by that?
Okay, so it's light on that. So in traumatic brain injury, there's a transfer of mechanical energy to the brain. And these criteria give us examples of that. So if the head is struck with an object, the head strikes an object. There could be maybe whiplash injury where the person undergoes an acceleration, deceleration event, and the brain is shaking around inside of the skull, but there's no contact between the head and the upper surface.
Is that like a whiplash situation?
Like a whiplash, yes.
So for example, if someone is in a car with a seatbelt on, there should be a head-on collision. The person's head may not be in contact with any object, but just the forward acceleration because of the forward momentum of the vehicle. Is that right?
Objection to leading, Your Honor.
Don't let the witness.
I apologize. That's correct.
Okay, so yes, in a whiplash injury, in a restrained passenger, there could be an acceleration, deceleration injury. You don't know how many times the person's brain is shaking back and forth inside the skull, but just the contact inside the skull could cause traumatic brain injury.
How is the brain injured by making contact with the skull?
So it gets directly damaged the nerve cells, and then there are projections called axons. All of the nerve cells are sending axons to other places in the brain to connect with other cells, or even to parts of the body to control your muscles. And those axons can be stretched, and that can cause immediate dysfunction, or they can actually be cut. They can be sheared by the injury.
So under normal circumstances, is the brain not in contact with the skull at any time?
So it's not banging into the skull. I mean, with younger babies, their brains are so big they fill their skulls. As we get older, unfortunately, our brains get a little bit smaller every year, and so at some point, there is space, you can see space between the person's brain and the skull, and that can make you more vulnerable because there's more movement, and the veins can tear.
They
Okay,
paid
and
this
so
lady 29,000. Is that what you're saying, Tance? I mean, did she ever really evaluate George?
American Congress of Rehabilitation Medicine has also given us another way that the mechanism of injury could occur, so a blast injury or an explosion, where maybe nothing hard has
Daniel, I like that.
hit the head, but there's still acceleration, deceleration, maybe rotation of the brain inside the skull. Okay, so if you have a plausible mechanism of injury, like if you have a plausible mechanism of injury, so there is a motor vehicle accident, fall, head trauma, then you go down this first arm, and you only need one clinical sign, and those clinical signs can be weakness, loss of consciousness, immediately after the injury, alteration of mental status, and I'll talk about that in a minute.
This whole thing is just going to confuse the jury.
There could be complete or partial amnesia. another category of motor improvisation, posturing, seizure.
Can you explain to us what, when you use the term amnesia, can you explain what that means more precisely?
Okay, let's see that slide. So amnesia occurs in traumatic brain injury, and it's not always like it is in the news where they forget their name or they forget who they are or the rest of their lives. They can forget things that happen immediately preceding the injury and then things immediately after the injury. And sometimes they have trouble retrieving old memories. And so retrograde amnesia would mean they can't remember what happened.
Take it to trial. This is like in a playlist on Law and Crime, so they probably just somehow extracted out that noise, like I don't know if you use CapCut, but you can do that noise reduction or enhance voice.
Right before the injury. And it could be because they were recording all the events, you're paying attention to all the events, and then suddenly you get a head injury, you haven't had time to store those events in your memory. Right after the injury, your brain is damaged, and so you could have trouble storing memory, and you could also have trouble retrieving older memories.
No,
What is the opposite of retrograde amnesia?
So there's retrograde amnesia, which means you forgot what happened right before the accident. And then I use the term anterograde, because you can't form new memories right after the accident. And then in this document, they use post-traumatic amnesia, and they do it synonymously with anterograde. And that's what that is like. So loss of consciousness is pretty straightforward. So you see somebody unconscious and unresponsive. Alteration of mental status, they can't get a drink of water. So alteration of mental status is defined as someone who has reduced responsiveness, or maybe they're responding, but it's not appropriate to the stimuli. They're slow to respond, they could be agitated, and then if you give them a two-part command, like pick up your right hand and use it to touch your left ear, they can't put it together, they can't follow two-step commands, or they can just be disoriented for a certain place and time. And then we went over the amnesia.
Dr. Go back one moment, 2 slides. The reduced responsiveness. If you could tell us, expound on that a little bit more. So for example, hypothetically, if someone is given a command, a single command, for example, move, get out, look here, look there, a failure to respond, the person who's listening to that, who has suffered a concussion, what would that be indicative of?
So that's one of the clinical signs that defines the diagnosis of traumatic brain injury. And you only need one of these of that list. So you only need one to determine that someone meets diagnostic criteria for traumatic brain injury. So either loss of consciousness, or alteration of mental status, or amnesia, or this other category of seizure or tonic posturing.
So any one of those 4 items that is part of the criteria establishing traumatic brain injury, is that what you're saying?
Yes, you only need one of those. You need the mechanism of injury, and you need one of these signs.
This has got to be so insulting to the Fernandez family. I'm going to switch over and watch the cross examination of this lady, but the audio is going to be brutal.
Good afternoon. Let's start with this. You're here because you were hired by George Pino's law firm to be a consultant in this case, correct?
Yes.
Do you see George Pino in this courtroom? Yes. Can you please point to an identifying article of clothing so our record will be clear who we're talking about?
He's wearing a light blue tie and a dark blue jacket.
Do you remember when you were first contacted by the defense firm about this case?
When I was first contacted,
Yes.
I don't remember the date I was first contacted, but I was retained, I believe, in October of 2025.
Okay, so that was September. So almost 3 years after this incident. That's fair to say, right?
Yes, the accident was on September 14th.
Brooklyn, you would have taken the $29K and gone to get a Birkin bag.
2022.
I think he's going to be convicted of something. I don't know what. Isn't vessel homicide more likely than this manslaughter? That's my opinion from a non-legal person.
And you first met with him on February 2nd of 2026?
Yes,
And you met with him a second time on March 9th of 2026, correct?
yes.
Those are the only times that you've seen him. Is that fair to say, aside from here
Other
in
than
court?
in the courtroom, yes.
Okay, today. And when you were retained in this case, you were asked to do only three things. One, answer if you had a TBI, traumatic brain injury. Two, would it cause amnesia and false memories without the intent to deceive? And three, how long those false memories could persist, correct?
I had not heard of a false memory until the Karen Reed trial with Kelly Dever. Don't call me Dever, whatever.
It's not the exact wording, but it's mostly correct, yes.
And you constrained your work in this case to only answering those three questions.
Do y'all know what her jacket reminds me of? Do y'all, if you're my age, like Barbie and Ken doll, and there was a Ken kind of like metallic-y purple jacket that I guess when he would go out with Barbie.
Isn't that true?
Yes,
And those questions came from the defense team, correct?
yes.
Now, regarding the issue of a traumatic brain injury, you would agree that there is a spectrum of traumatic brain injuries from, say, like a football player who gets knocked out on the field, but then is able to recover and go right back out and play again. Or you could wind up with a traumatic brain injury that is so severe that it permanently disables an individual. That's fair to say about TBIs, right?
I'm not sure if they're allowed to go right back into play, but I agree that there's a wide spectrum of presentations of traumatic brain injury.
We don't want to get into the concussion protocols of the NFL, but clearly we understand that if a player is knocked unconscious, once they are reviewed by another doctor that might be at the stadium, if they pass the clearance, they can go right back that same day, right?
I don't want to answer it. I don't do sports concussions on the field. I'm sorry.
But at the end of the day, whether your head gets hit on the football field or your head gets hit on a boat, your head is hit, right?
Yes, you're right.
And so the type of responses that you can have if you have a traumatic brain injury, it can vary depending on the severity of the injury, right?
It can depend on the severity of the injury. Some people are more vulnerable to injuries and some people are much more resilient. So with the same injury, one person might get up and walk away and be fine, and another might be permanently disabled.
Okay. Now, you were asked you were asked to only look at these three questions that I've spoken with you about. At any point in your evaluation of this defendant, limited though it might be, do you have any evidence that he is suffering from dementia?
I did not diagnose him with dementia.
You're not a dentist, right?
Wait, what did she just say about dementia?
I'm not sure if they're allowed to go right back into play, but I agree that there's a wide spectrum of presentations of traumatic brain injury.
We don't want to get into the concussion protocols of the NFL, but clearly we understand that if a player is knocked unconscious, once they are reviewed by another doctor that might be at the stadium, if they pass the clearance, they can go right back that same day, right?
I don't want to answer it. I don't do sports concussions on the field. I'm sorry.
But at the end of the day, whether your head gets hit on the football field or your head gets hit on a boat, your head is hit, right?
Yes, you're right.
And so the type of responses that you can have if you have a traumatic brain injury, it can vary depending on the severity of the injury, right?
It can depend on the severity of the injury. Some people are more vulnerable to injuries and some people are much more resilient. So with the same injury, one person might get up and walk away and be fine, and another might be permanently disabled.
Okay. Now, you were asked you were asked to only look at these three questions that I've spoken with you about. At any point in your evaluation of this defendant, limited though it might be, do you have any evidence that he is suffering from dementia?
I did not diagnose him with dementia.
You're not a dentist, right?
No.
You got the opportunity to look at some photographs of the defendant's teeth, right?
Yes.
Now, they weren't broken, were they? They were chipped right at the top, right?
Pieces were broken off.
Interesting. True Crime Wifey says early this morning there was an issue with juror and his employer. Of course, the court started late, like every day, because this witness was late. Both Law and Crime and Court TV restarted their live streams around 11:15.
But I'm not a dentist.
Right. Like he didn't lose teeth, right?
The tips were broken off. I'm sorry if I'm using the wrong terminology. But
Hold on, let's get the actual image. Just take me a minute. I'm going to show you an exhibit. It's in evidence in states number 28.
Pamela, thank you, but I've never been told in my life that I keep very silent. Thank you, though.
Excuse me, defense 28.
Okay.
2B, sorry. 2B looks like 28, sorry. 2B. These are the photographs of the defendant's teeth that you were shown, correct?
I believe so, yes.
I believe it's in evidence.
It is. 2B. So these are not broken teeth, these are chipped teeth, right?
I'm sorry, to me, pieces of the teeth are broken off, but pieces of the teeth are missing.
Showing you defense exhibit A, 13. I'm showing you defense exhibit A35. Do you recognize this exhibit?
It's the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. It's really hard for me to read, but yes, I believe elements of this are in my report.
And in fact, you listed in your report that you were given a Miami-Dade Fire Rescue report for the defendant from this incident, correct?
Yes, and it's 4 pages.
And how many pages does exhibit A35 have?
I count 5.
4 pages for the report, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just a final.
Oh, this just says certified copy.
Right. So this is in fact the fire rescue report that you reviewed for this particular case, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time I move defense A.
I mean, sadly, that's true. Ain't no holla back. Boating and boozing, as well as sledding and boozing, happens everywhere, always, and won't stop. He was very unlucky. True. I mean, there's a lot of people that do what he was doing, and worse.
35 into evidence as a state's exhibit.
No objection.
A35, March 20, State's Exhibit 119.
Yeah.
Let's go over some of the information on that report.
Okay, which part? The font is
One,
really
let
small.
me get my copies.
I put it back at regular.
So first off, can you read for us what the narrative was of the fire rescue worker that treated George Pino on September 4th, 2022? On the first page in the middle.
Okay. Narrative. Patient was the driver of a boat that struck a piling by Caesars Creek. Several people stated that he was unconscious. He denies any neck or back pain. Assessment revealed a laceration to his right elbow, laceration to his head, and a hematoma to his right mid-axillary ribs.
Now, let's.
You know what else was weird? Miss Pino said when she got out of the hospital that she went home and George was at home. It just struck me as odd.
Talk about what it says about where the defendant was taken to. The defendant in this case was taken to Baptist Hospital, wasn't he?
Disposition, hospital name, Baptist Hospital, Miami.
And now Baptist Hospital, that, to your knowledge, is not a level 1 trauma center where he was brought, was it?
I don't believe it is, but I haven't looked them up recently.
On page 2 of this report, you'll see in the upper part of the page, there is a part that indicates
Daniel.
that on September 4th, at 11:14, it's in military time, 23:14 and 0 hours, so about 11:14 under vitals. What does it say?
I-4 opens eye spontaneously. verbal, 5, oriented, smiles, follows objects, interacts, motor, 6, obeys commands, appropriate response to stimulation, total GCS, 15.
GCS stands for Glasgow Coma Scale, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And it's an assessment of how alert and awake a patient might be, correct?
Yes.
And 15 is basically the highest level that you can have, isn't that true?
Didn't the juror say that the boss was going to kick his ass or something because was missing so much work as a jury duty? I hope the judge called them because that's illegal. I will miss about it.
Now, you indicated in your testimony that the defendant gave some answers to Lieutenant Thompson when he was questioned at Elliott Key that were inaccurate. Let's go through those inaccuracies that you talked about, that you noted in your report. Number one, you said that he was inaccurate in his description of who was behind him. Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
I'm going to show you an exhibit. It was marked into evidence as States 11. And it's a chart of similar to looking like Mr. Pino's vessel. And there are seats labeled 2 and 3. Are there names next to those two individuals?
Yes, they're handwritten names. One says Sarah and one says Mia.
Right. So even if Mr. Pino didn't.
I do think the view of this prosecutor is very split. People either can't stand her or people really like her. I think she's really good and thorough. I think she's worked her tail off. I mean, that guy at the table with her, I haven't seen him doing much of anything.
Correctly remember the names of the girls who were seated behind him. You indicated that could be understandable, right?
About channel 53X. Thank you for saying that. I admit it. I've operated a boat, probably not in the best manner. Thank God, never anything horrible like this. I mean, I think we've all driven probably when we shouldn't, whether a car or a boat. Yeah, and then there's unlucky ones. Things happen. I used to work with a guy and his cousin in his 20s. He got drunk, drove home drunk, had a wreck. It killed someone, and he got convicted of manslaughter. I think he was in prison 18 years. I don't know what state. I want to say Texas, but I could be wrong. And he just recently got out. But I mean, he acknowledges what he did, and he's like, I deserved it. But he was locked up in prison for 18 years.
If it were just one mistake, then
Okay, so if he was mistaken about that, though, it could be understandable because number one, these girls were all dressed similarly. They were all in like string bikinis. Do you know that?
I don't know what they were all wearing.
And number two, they're behind him. So it's not like he's looking at them while he's operating the boat, hopefully, right?
Oh,
He said that he turned to look behind
did you hear that? That was a little sudden. He's not looking at them, hopefully.
him.
Okay, but you indicated on your testimony on direct that it's understandable that he might have gotten those two girls' names incorrect, right?
Yes.
Now, you also mentioned that he was wrong about stating what the horsepower of his two engines was, right? That FWC said they were 300 horsepower and that he had said they were 225 horsepower. You remember saying that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
So the two things that he was asked about that happened prior to impact, one that he got wrong, one was about who was behind him, which we've already said, that's understandable. And the other thing that he got wrong about what happened prior to the impact was him saying that his engines were 225s rather than 300s, right?
Yes.
Now, you indicated there were two other things that he got wrong. One was that he couldn't remember exactly what happened right after the impact. So now we're talking about him remembering what happened in the moments or minutes after his vessel had slammed into a channel mark at almost 50 miles an hour, right?
I'm sorry, I don't know how fast he was going.
Okay. So wouldn't you agree that an impact at a high rate of speed might be different than
This is the defense's medical expert, a neurologist that they paid $30,000 to.
an impact at a low rate of speed?
It could be, but the people have different vulnerabilities, so
But that information wasn't relevant to your determination of how to answer those three questions the defense gave you, right? The speed of the vessel?
I didn't know.
no, the fact that he had loss of consciousness
Okay.
was important.
So let's go back to the four things that you had highlighted that he got wrong. The size of his engines and who was behind him. Those are things that he got wrong that happened pre-crash. But now the other two things that you highlighted, number one, he couldn't remember exactly what happened right after impact. And number two, he initially said that it was Nati that he recovered from under the boat. Those are things that happened post-impact. You would agree to that, right?
Yes.
And you would agree that in a written statement that he gave to Lieutenant Thompson, and when he spoke with Lieutenant Thompson, he actually did in fact note that it was Lucy that he had recovered. You're aware of that, right?
Well, in my report, it says that he starts out by saying it was very clear who was under the boat, and then he said Nati, Nati, Nati over and over again. And then later he said it was Lucy. And then the report came out that he recovered and he removed Luciana from under the vessel.
I'm going to show you an exhibit that's in evidence. It states number 102. Can you read this statement? Well, first off, let me ask you, would you consider a police officer asking a person to tell them what happened and then write down what happened? That's a two-step request from the officer, correct?
Well, it's a two-step if you ask them to do it all in a row, so you have to remember each step. So I might ask a patient, please pick up your right hand and use it to touch your left ear. And if they're confused, they might pick up their hand and then they forget what they're supposed to do, and they might later bring them touch their not at all.
But you said that you watched the video of Lieutenant Thompson interacting with your client, correct?
He's not my client.
The defendant.
Yes.
So you then must have seen Lieutenant Thompson talking with the defendant seated at a picnic table and asking him about what happened and to write it down on a written statement. You remember that?
I think I do remember him writing something.
And so that would be kind of a two-step request. Tell me what happened and then write it down.
Well, if there's any bit of a delay afterwards, it wouldn't be a two-step command.
Do you remember there being a delay between Lieutenant Thompson saying, tell me what happened and then write it down?
Well, there would be a delay if he has to get out the paper and hand him the pen.
Y'all, wouldn't they have done CT scans and MRIs and things when he got to the hospital? I mean, I would think anybody with a head trauma, they would do that, wouldn't they? Just, I haven't heard anything about that.
And what if the paper is right in front of the defendant and the defendant has a pen in his hand?
I teach the neurological examination. That's not how we teach someone to do a two-step command. It's something that you say immediately. You say both commands in sequence immediately, and they have to remember them both.
Why don't you read along with me? Isn't this what the defendant wrote at the request of Lieutenant Thompson? Going back to ORC, Ocean View Club, the through channel, pass boat on left side of my boat, veer to the right to avoid big waves. Coming back into wave, I lost control of steering wheel as boat was going through the big waves. I was ejected from boat. In the back of the boat, I saw Mia and Sarah, my wife Ceci next to me, and the others in the front area of boat. I believe we were traveling at 40 to 45 RPMs. I have owned the boat since early 2020. I swam to...
I agree. There's a channel, JD Lawyer. He's retired attorney out of Missouri. He does great breakdowns, about 20-minute videos. And he'll criticize both sides. I really like him.
Lucy and stayed until boat came. Then I stayed looking for others inside the boat. Did you see Mr. Pino writing that out for the lieutenant, right?
I believe I saw him writing something, but I couldn't see the text as he was writing it.
So of those 4 things that you highlighted were inaccurate answers, who he recovered from under the boat, even though initially he said it was Nati, when he gave his written statement, he clarified it was in fact Lucy. Isn't that right?
He did clarify it, and I put it in my report that he clarified it later.
So now, of these 4 things that you have highlighted, who's behind him, the size of his engines, that he couldn't remember exactly what happened right after the impact, and that he didn't remember who was under the boat, we've pretty much explained away. He didn't see necessarily who was behind him. The girls were dressed similarly, right? You said that would be understandable if he got that wrong, correct?
I wouldn't be surprised if someone made one mistake on something that's not that important.
Right, but in your direct examination, you said to Mr. Shapiro, it would be understandable if he got wrong who was behind him.
Yes, I did.
Okay. And his issue about the size of his engines being 225 versus 300, it's a pretty small detail. Would you agree?
Yeah.
The boat owners that I know, it's not a small detail.
Okay.
Oh, so now she's a boat owner expert. Come on.
The idea that he couldn't remember exactly what happened post-impact, that's not really surprising, is it?
Well, to me, it's evidence of amnesia.
Okay, but that would be amnesia post-crash, correct? Not pre-crash.
That's correct.
And then the 4th thing that you talked about, that he mistakenly indicated who was under the boat. In point of fact, although he initially said Nati, he corrected himself on that written statement, correct?
He did correct himself.
But you didn't note that in your report that you drafted in this case, did you?
It says in my report, Mr.
Max Richardson says he's going to prison without a doubt. Late Girl says, I do wonder if he was distracted by the girls. 100%. He's a man, and there's 11 sets of babies, or however many girls. Okay, we'll take his daughter out of the equation. Sharon wants to see him leave court in handcuffs.
Pino said that it was very clear who was under the boat. He said it was Nati Reed. He kept repeating the name Nati. Later, he said it was Lucy.
So when you were testifying, you indicated that he was wrong about who was under the boat, but you didn't clarify that he, in fact, corrected himself.
Objection, she did.
I thought I did.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I thought I did.
Now, would you agree that sometimes being involved in a stressful event, whether it's a boat crash or a car crash, in the immediate moments after something like that happens, would you agree that even if you don't have a traumatic brain injury, sometimes the details of what happened can be a little foggy because you're working through in your brain what just happened?
It might, or it might be the opposite. It might be something that you can't forget.
Now, other than the defendant not remembering who sat behind him, the horsepower of his engines, recalling exactly what he saw after being ejected from the boat, and stating that it was Nati, not Lucy, you're not sure that there were any other signs of amnesia. Isn't that fair to say?
I didn't see any other signs of amnesia.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the things that the defendant got right about what happened. You didn't note those things in your report, did you?
No, I didn't note every single thing, no.
So let's go over some of those things. You know that in his interview with Lieutenant Thompson, he said that when asked, hey, where is your wife? He indicated that he was asking about the condition of his wife and the girls that were on the boat. And he said to Lieutenant Thompson that Cammie was on a boat with his wife. Do you remember hearing that part of the conversation?
He might have said that. I wasn't paying attention to that part of it.
Now, if Cammie, whose given name is Camille Alvarez, came to this courtroom and testified that when she was rescued from the scene, she was on a boat with Lucy as well as Mrs. Pino. That would be a detail that the defendant gave to Lieutenant Thompson that was accurate, right?
If he got it correct, then it's accurate.
And you know that the defendant told Lieutenant Thompson that he had been a boater for a long time. That was accurate too, correct?
Yes.
You know that he told the police.
Yeah, does anybody know why he's not charged criminally in Kati's injuries?
That he felt fine when he was speaking with Lieutenant Thompson.
I don't remember that exact comment.
But he certainly wasn't life-flighted from Elliott Key Harbor, was he?
No, it wasn't.
In fact, when fire rescue looked at him, they found him to be on a Glasgow coma scale of 15, as high as you can get, correct?
Yes.
And he was transported to a hospital that wasn't a level 1 trauma center. He was transported to Baptist that doesn't have the same capabilities, say, as like Ryder Trauma here over at Jackson Memorial. Fair to say?
I'm not sure what capabilities. I haven't worked at Baptist in a long time.
During his interview with Lieutenant Thompson, the defendant was able to point out that his daughter, known as Little Ceci, that she was also there on the island with him. Are you aware that he said that?
I don't remember that part of the video or the conversation.
So if, hypothetically, we had video footage where Little Ceci was pointed out on the island with the defendant, he would have been right about that fact, right?
Yes.
So I'm curious, why would the defense call Kati's dad to testify?
Mr. Pino told Lieutenant Thompson that the boating trip that he'd been on was part of a celebration for his daughter's birthday. Did you know that his daughter, Little Ceci, was going to be turning 18 a couple of days after this incident?
I knew that it was a birthday celebration.
So he got that fact right also, didn't he?
Apparently he did.
He also told Lieutenant Thompson that the other girls that were on his boat were his daughter's friends. Do you know that that's also accurate?
I don't remember that part of the video.
Okay, well, if there was testimony even from the defendant's wife that the other girls that were on this boat were his daughter's friends, then Mr. Pino telling that to Lieutenant Thompson, he gave an accurate fact, didn't he?
Yes.
He knew that he told the police he'd owned that boat since 2020, right?
I believe so.
And in his written statement that he gave to the police that night, why don't you read this sentence that starts here? I have owned. What's that sentence?
I have owned the boat since early 2020.
So that was another detail that he got correct, right?
Yes.
Prosecution called Kati's dad in their rebuttal. Thank you.
He said that he was the only one who operated the vessel that day, didn't he?
I don't remember that part.
If his wife testified that her husband was the one that was operating the boat on that day, that would be another fact that he got accurate, correct?
Correct.
Do you remember him saying on the video to Lieutenant Thompson that he had checked the safety equipment on his vessel before leaving to go out on the water with the girls? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that part of the video.
If in point of fact, on the video, Lieutenant Thompson asked him, did you check the safety equipment?
Very interesting facial mannerisms, lady.
And he indicated that, yes, I did check the safety equipment. If that was on that video, then the defendant saying that he had checked the safety equipment, that would be another accurate statement, correct?
Well, how do I know who checked it?
He knew at the time that he was interviewed that he was the owner of the vessel, correct?
Yes.
He knew that there were two girls seated in the back of the boat, correct?
Yes.
Now let's go over what he said about this crash. During his interview with Lieutenant Thompson, he told Lieutenant Thompson that they were getting to, quote, the last channel marker. Do you remember him saying that?
I
Wait,
think
was
so.
that Cossy's dad or Lucy's dad?
And he says that they were, quote, on the last marker. You said you remember him saying that?
I think I do.
Do you know where this crash actually happened?
I'm not familiar with the waterways down there.
Okay. If there was testimony that this crash happened at a channel marker that was labeled channel marker 15, and that was the last channel marker that a southbound vessel would pass, he would have been right about that detail, right? Let me break it down. That's probably not a very well worded question. If there was testimony that the crash that the defendant was in happened at channel marker 15, number one, and if number two, channel marker 15 is the last channel marker for boats traveling south through the Cutter Bank Channel. If he said he was approaching the last marker and the channel marker 15 was the last in that channel, he would have been accurate about that detail too, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to approach you now. I understand you might not be a boater, but this is State's Exhibit number 4. Do you see on State's Exhibit number 4 where it says Cutter Bank here?
Yes.
You see a series of red triangles and green squares here?
Yes.
And if this part here that I'm pointing to is north and this is south, what is the name of the last channel marker that we see in this exhibit?
Is this the channel marker, the square?
What does it say here?
It says G and then 15 in quotations.
Okay, so Ronna, maybe let me sit down for a moment. So if the defendant's statement to the lieutenant is that the crash happened at the last channel marker, and if these green squares and red triangles are channel markers, what's the last channel marker for a boat that's going from the north to the south? What is it labeled as?
So I see a green square labeled as G parentheses 15.
Okay, so if that's the last channel marker, and if that's where the crash happened, then when the defendant was talking to Lieutenant Thompson, he was giving accurate reporting about where that crash occurred, wasn't he?
I think so.
Okay?
Okay, love to draw. I don't remember what your name was before, but that's awesome.
Now, you're aware that the defendant was released from Baptist Hospital the very next day, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, she loves her pointer for sure. Chugging the water.
I'm almost finished, Your Honor, if you could give me just a little bit of time. Thank you. Now, the report that you prepared for this case did not list all those things that we just went through that the defendant actually got right in his interview with Lieutenant Thompson. Did it?
No.
You only listed those 4 things that we've discussed that he got wrong.
Correct.
You were given an MRI that had been, or the results of an MRI examination that had been done of the defendant's brain from July.
So then closing arguments are tomorrow. So we could maybe have a verdict this week.
1st of 2025. You remember
Yes.
reviewing that? That MRI that you received, you didn't really take that into account at all in formulating your opinions in this case, did you?
I don't think it was very helpful.
Okay. And in point of fact, there was nothing
No.
about that MRI of the defendant's brain from July 1st of 2025 to indicate that there was any significant trauma to this man, correct?
It's not specific for trauma, no.
Wait, when's Juneteenth? Is that Friday?
When you met with the defendant in February of this year, you never asked him if he sought treatment for the supposed brain fog that he had, did you?
Wait, if there's no closings till Monday, so what are they doing tomorrow? Like jury instructions, just working on them with the judge? Or is it nothing tomorrow? Lake Girl says there was a boat accident on Long Lake in Maine. I saw it. The guy went to prison. He killed 2 people.
Well, I don't remember if I asked him that question specifically, but
Judge.
he did tell me that he was getting treatment and he was improving for his symptoms overall.
Yeah.
Isn't it true that when you asked him about the treatment that he had, he told you that he had had therapy and psychiatric medications, correct?
Yes.
I guess George Pino will get one more Father's Day at home this weekend. Justice Jane.
Now, you said that your claim that the defendant could have suffered from amnesia comes largely from the videos that you witnessed of the defendant speaking with Lieutenant Thompson, right?
It's not just from the videos. I look at the whole clinical picture, and he did have a significant trauma. He did have loss of consciousness. He meets diagnostic criteria for.
Wouldn't that be wild if the Pinos all went on a boat to Sandbar? Seriously, though, there are no winners. I mean, even if George doesn't get prison, surely to God, he gotta have guilt.
Traumatic brain injury, and these mistakes that he made are consistent with amnesia.
Right. That being said, though, like, there was no scientific test that you could administer to this defendant to prove that he had amnesia, was there?
After
Wow.
the fact, no.
You did administer a test called the Montreal Cognitive
This isn't live court right now. It was today.
Assessment Test, right?
Yes,
But that doesn't prove that he had amnesia, did it?
that cannot prove that he had amnesia at the time of the injury.
And in fact, the MRI for the defendant that was done on July 1st, that was normal for a man of his age, wasn't it?
He did have some white matter lesions in his brain, which is not surprising for someone who has a history of high cholesterol untreated and someone for that age.
Right. So it looked like a middle-aged man that might have high cholesterol, right?
It could be.
I think her blazer is really bad and came from the same store as Donna Adelson's. outfit.
Now, you've indicated that thus far you've been paid $29,200 for your work in this case.
Yes,
That does not include the fee that you're going to charge for being here and testifying today in court, does it?
no, it doesn't.
It's like something Prince would have worn.
You have no clinical tests that you can state to this jury that prove that the defendant had what I think you refer to in your report as a false memory without the intent to deceive, do you?
Do y'all want to hear a secret? This weekend, I'll be doing a live, and I got to interview Ruth Markel, and I'm going to premiere it this weekend. Or I'm going to go live and show it, not premiere it. I'm going to actually be live. So,
No, I can't test him for what happened back in 2022.
Now, it was your goal in evaluating the defendant to make a determination about really, what he remembered of the crash, correct?
Well, my goal was to answer the 3 questions.
Right. And part of that was to determine whether or not the defendant remembered what happened, right?
No, it was to look at the entire.
yes, seriously, I got to interview her today. I'm so excited. So I'm going to post it that I'm going to have a live with her. Well, with her interview. So it was an honor. I'm tickled. I'm on cloud 9.
Of the medical record and determine the answers to those
She likes a strong-willed woman.
3 questions.
You did not ask the defendant nor his wife that was with him when you met with him how the crash occurred, did you?
No,
You did not ask how the accident occurred, even though you were trying to find out what he remembered of the events surrounding the accident.
Yeah, I know. I feel like this year has been amazing. I mean, what is it, June? I got a letter from John Lauro. I got to talk to Vinny Politan and Ruth. I mean, I feel like I'm just like on cloud 9.
Right?
well, I had that from the medical record, and he was
It's so
starting
great.
to get very
Amazing.
anxious and stressed, and there's only so many questions you can ask a patient before they end up not being able to
It's a recorded interview. She doesn't do live.
function on the cognitive testing.
So you never said to him, tell me how this crash happened?
No, I did not.
So you were evaluating his memory without asking him what he remembered, correct?
So,
I was evaluating his memory on the day that he presented to my office.
Right. So you were evaluating his memory, but you didn't ask him what he remembered, did you?
No, I relied on the records, the medical records.
so let me say there was a lot of things that I wanted to ask like that, too, but because of the current filming and everything going on, it's not that direction. I mean, but it was a great conversation, and I'm excited. So, but we'll have another one eventually too.
And the Fish and Wildlife report and the EMS records.
So again, my question is, you were evaluating his memory, but you did not ask him what happened, did you?
Tennis girl, I sure did in March.
I'm asking you if you can give me a straightforward answer. Did you ask yes or no?
Oh, that's right.
understand.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry.
Yeah. And Joe Patuto, I got to hang out with, and Joe Scott Morgan. I mean, it just goes on and on. And my husband's just like, are you over this phase?
Right. Let me ask the question again. You were evaluating the defendant's memory, but you did not ask him what he remembered of the crash.
Thanks, Baha. I appreciate it. Wendy Joan, yeah, it was on a huge trajectory. And then I made a mistake after I got the letter, and I did delete a lot of things, and I should have just unlisted them because it killed my, what's that called? Algorithm.
Did you?
I did not ask him all of the details. I started asking him, you know,
Thanks for
how
liking
are
and
you right before
subscribing.
the crash and what happened after, and he started to get very anxious, and so I
know.
stopped with that.
Okay, nothing else.
Okay. I want to go forward and see if I can get to the Puig. You know, one thing I love about these folks that are bilingual, how they'll just be speaking English and then they like go right into the Spanish. I'm jealous. Who's this guy? He looks like an attorney. That's not her dad, right?
Out the answer, you're allowed to refer to other records.
No, he was an attorney. I remember hearing him. Oh, yeah, tennis girl. I'm not showing it, but I mean, it's the first time I've like come out and like said his name, but I've just always been like, yeah, if you get a letter. I would die if my desk was on like national television. Because you know what they say, like people who are busy and know what's going on, they have organized chaos. And my desk, like I'll clean it off like every 2 months at work, and then it looks like crap again within a week. Oh, this must be when he says he's not going to testify.
Or 5 decisions that are held by the defendant solely. Your lawyer cannot make the decision for you. It's never going to be their decision as to whether or not you testify. But it took time, and I want to make sure you had sufficient.
Thanks, Dreamscape. You like me and Prop Joe? Yeah, we're gonna start doing monthly lives. I love her. She's so, I don't know. It's just like cool. You can just ask her any of the questions, and it's great.
Time to speak with your attorneys about this important decision.
Exactly, Little Miss.
Yes, Your Honor, I spoke with my legal team at length, and
Okay, let me keep going. Have you had sufficient time to do that?
I have sufficient time.
All right. And while they will give you their advice, understand that's their advice, and sometimes I'll have someone say, well, on the advice of my lawyers, but the real issue is you have to make this decision you as your own, knowingly, freely, and voluntarily. While again, lawyers can give you advice, they can say what they think would be best for you, but it's not their decision. So, have they given you advice based upon their assessment of the evidence that's been presented?
Yes.
All right. And have you made a decision as to whether or not you wish to testify?
Yes, I have made a decision.
Okay. And what is your decision, sir?
I do not wish to testify.
All right. And has anyone forced you into that decision?
No.
Threatened you in any way?
No, Your Honor.
Said to you, Mr. Pino, not only are we giving you the advice not to testify, but we're telling you that better not testify or anything along those lines?
No.
Okay. All right. So this is your free and voluntary decision.
That is correct.
Do you understand, though, that you do have the right to testify if you wish to do so?
Yes.
Okay, very well. And notice,
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna announce it, but I'm like, you know what? We're all on live. I'm just gonna tell y'all because I'm gonna post. I've got to schedule it for Saturday. I'm trying to figure out the right time.
forced you into this decision, you're making it of your own free will.
That is correct.
All right, very good.
The two. At least he's
So,
decisive.
you can have a seat, that's fine. And I think we're going to, you have your witness, you want to check on your witness? She's here.
So here's where we are. The witness is here.
Okay.
She's the witness who had testified previously, who had not had an opportunity to.
The other, right, okay.
So there's a recording that she would, I guess, listen to, I guess, authenticate.
It's her on the body worn, right?
That's right.
Okay.
And so
Do you have it?
we do.
Okay,
It may require, because the volume is not very high,
okay.
so that it may be clumsy in terms of how it's presented, because she would need to listen to it, maybe even with headphones on the TV, or on the
She
TV.
could come up here on the witness stand with a computer, listen.
Daniel, you think he'll move to Ohio?
And then just continue with the questions.
Okay.
Any issue with that, Counselor?
Well, yes, Judge, because number one, I don't think that she can be impeached based on her saying, I don't remember. What they can do is try to refresh her recollection with something. I understand that which they want to show her may be in evidence, but she shouldn't have her.
As a defense witness.
Oh, they're showing this girl again.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Why would they bring this girl back?
I'm gonna see over here. Counselor, why don't you inquire?
Okay, and good afternoon, Ms. Monterey.
Good afternoon.
When you were here last time, Ms. Gomez had asked you some questions about a statement you gave to Lieutenant Thompson in April of 2023. A recorded statement. Do you remember having given this statement to Lieutenant Thompson?
Yes, I don't remember the date, but yes.
Okay. And at that time, do you recall telling Lieutenant Thompson when he asked you about where George Pino was on the boat after the impact, that you had said, he was on my right, like on the floor, yeah, and he was bleeding, he like unconscious, and then the boat was like sinking, so I jumped from my right, like I jumped to my right. I don't know, I didn't see George after. Like I saw him, like when I jumped, he was still on the floor.
Yes.
You recall telling that to Lieutenant Thompson?
Yes, after listening to the recording.
I'm sorry?
Yes, my memory was refreshed after listening to the recording.
And what you told Lieutenant Thompson, was it true that you saw Mr. Pino bleeding, unconscious on the floor?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So
Should I have the witness step outside now?
I don't think it's necessary. I would then we don't need the recording if the witness is prepared to just testify to that. Those three questions will be done.
Can you imagine you're 21 and you're being like a major witness or whatever recalled in a manslaughter trial? I agree. Yeah, these girls were friends and the whole thing is sad. Wendy Joan, no, she's not a prisoner, but it looks kind of like black scrubs, but.
All right, and I don't, okay, you're calling the witness.
That's right.
In front of the jury.
That's right.
That's fine, Judge.
That's it. Okay. So,
Hilarious.
um.
She's in scrubs.
Where is it, down the hall? Okay.
Judge, before we proceed, may I just ask the witness one last question before the jury gets here,
Sure.
so that we clarify. Last time you were here, you were asked some questions about who told you to jump from the boat. Now, do you have a recollection of who it was that told you to jump?
George?
Before he was unconscious or after he was unconscious or when?
He told me to jump after he was unconscious.
When he regained consciousness?
He was in the water and told me to jump. So I'm guessing after he regained consciousness.
That's your best recollection?
Yes.
So he just woke up and said, everybody jump.
All right, so if I could, please, I'm gonna ask the witness to just sit right on the benches outside. We're gonna call you back in when the jury is coming forward, okay? All right, and just don't say any
9 seconds that channel marker was visible, but it was.
you know,
I think I understand your point. He changes course to the south. Had he continued changing further south, he would have avoided the marker.
okay.
Had he left the course as it was, he would have avoided the marker.
Okay.
So he's driving along, and the state's theory is the vessel
Yeah, I thought someone earlier said it was a woman saying jump.
in Mr. Pino's command starts heading further south, and the vessel is now on a collision course, according to the state.
Okay.
But it wasn't Mr. Pino's intention to aim at the marker. There's no evidence that was his intention. So when we talk about an intentional act, That's reckless. Yes, I agree. If it was his
Please, please raise your right hand and sworn.
Is this Tati's dad?
I'm sorry.
Let me hear him. No, I thought it was someone else that said it was a woman. The girl in the white suit earlier. Always shaking. Oh, this is so sad.
Just may I approach just 1 second, please? Sorry.
Director of business for a security company.
Okay. Do you have any children?
Yes, 3 of them.
Okay. What's your oldest child's name?
Amanda,
And how old is she?
she's 26.
What's your second oldest child?
Rudy Jr., who's 25.
And your third child?
Kathy Puig, who's now 21.
Did your daughter, Kati Puig, go to Ocean Reef Club the weekend of Labor Day in 2022 for a birthday party for Ceci Pino, the daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Does your family know the Pino family?
Yes, we do.
And do you in fact know George Pino?
I do.
Do you see him in court today?
Yes.
What's he wearing, just for the record?
He's wearing a blue suit, a light blue tie.
For the record.
Stipulate, so as well.
When your daughter, Kati,
Ain't no holla back. I don't have an email. The only one I have is the bungee stuff we emailed about.
to go to that birthday party, was she an athlete?
She was an incredible athlete.
Did she go to school?
Yes, she did.
Was she healthy?
Yes, she was.
Now, do you get contacted on the evening of September 4th, 2022 by a man named Hillary Candela?
Yes,
And you learned that your daughter was involved in a boat crash?
yes.
Is your daughter in the same condition now that she was when she went to Ocean Reef Club?
No, she's not.
Does she now need 24/7 medical care?
Yes,
And is that expensive?
very expensive.
No other questions?
Thank you.
Mm.
No questions. All right, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Well, I hope the jury read through that. Like, it's bad. I just want to give this man a big hug.
Good afternoon. Just for the record, can you please introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself?
Andres Fernandez.
Mr. Fernandez, were you here in the courtroom when Mrs. Pino, the defendant's wife, testified?
Yes, I was.
Is it the case that growing up, you and she were very close?
Very close.
And is it the case that you did attend her wedding to George Pino, the defendant in this case?
Yes, I did.
Is it the case that in your early years of marriage and when your daughter was first born, your two families, the Pinos and your family, were very close?
Yes,
Did the girls go to the same elementary school?
yes, they went to school together.
At some point, does your daughter wind up going to a different high school than the defendant's daughter goes to?
They actually, in middle school, they began going to different schools.
Even though they were going to different schools, were they still friends with each other?
Absolutely.
But as time has gone by and the girls have gotten older, is your family kind of doing its own thing and the Pino family doing its own thing?
Yes, our relationship began to distance at that point.
Okay. On the actual weekend, when your daughter Lucy went to Ocean Reef Club for the birthday celebration for the defendant's daughter, little Ceci, did you have plans to attend a dinner that was the night before the crash happened with the
No.
Pinos?
No,
Did you have plans to go the night that the crash happened to that party at the Point that was planned for the girls?
no.
In fact, what was your plan for that night?
I was going to watch the football game with my father.
Okay. Did you have any plans to go out to the sandbar on Sunday, September 4th of 2022?
No,
But you did.
but I did
And why did you go?
because Lucy asked me to go.
Okay, no other questions.
Any questions?
Hello again, Mr. Fernandez.
Hello.
Do you recall that you sent Mr. Pino a text message earlier before the sandbar event, actually telling him you plan to go to the sandbar?
No, I actually sent him a text message the week before. And I had, established communications with him that we were also going to be down there that weekend. But talking about specifically going on Sunday, I don't think I made any concrete plans.
You just hold on 1 second. Yeah. May I approach the witness to see if something refreshes his recollection?
Right. If a court had to order him to stop, George, to stop texting and reaching out to the Fernandezes.
Yes.
Does that refresh your recollection that you were actually planning to go to the sandbar on Sunday after you played golf, that you'd be then tailgating? Let me start again. You recall writing a text message to Mr.
Objection,
Pino?
this is hearsay.
Yeah. Did you send a text message to Mr. Pino that said, Billy's on Sunday for me for sure after golf? I'll be tailgating at Billy's for the FSU game on Sunday night. I'm not arriving till Saturday because of Columbus's beach bash party on Friday night that all the kids are going to.
Correct. I had sent, this exchange was the week prior to that weekend.
Okay, so, and that was really the last
Yes.
text message?
Yes.
Okay. So the week prior to that Sunday, does that refresh your recollection that you had communicated to Mr. Pino that it was your plan, at least then, to go to Billy's Point on Sunday after the golf game?
It was my plan then.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
By the time Sunday afternoon of September 4th, 2022 came around, why did you no longer plan to go out to the sandbar?
Because I had, as I said in my earlier testimony, that it had gotten late that day. We were already running late, and I had plans with my father to watch the football game. So our intention was to no longer go out to Billy's Point.
No other questions. Your Honor, the state of Florida rests its case.
All right. And I see the papers, I'll be recorded.
Okay, so I'm gonna show y'all this. Hold on.
Order. 20 seconds on it.
I really can't stand this guy at all. But in case those of you that missed my stream over, was that this weekend? The Lucy Fernandez Foundation, it only has 241 subscribers. Everybody should go subscribe. I was just going to play this. I haven't seen this video. For those of you on an iPhone, you probably can't read that. Lucy's Law strengthens boating safety in Florida by expanding education requirements, increasing penalties for reckless and careless behavior, and promoting accountability on the water to prevent accidents and save lives. It's this honor This law honors the life of Luciana Cristina Fernandez, a 17-year-old from Miami, Florida, who tragically lost her life in a preventable boating accident Labor Day weekend 2022. While nothing can undo this heartbreaking loss, Lucy's legacy serves as a powerful force for change, one that protects others and spares families from the devastating consequences of unsafe boating practices. I think the way they did this footage is awesome. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission's 2023 Florida Boating Accident Statistical Report. Florida has over 1 million registered vessels, 159 accidents. 83% of operators involved in fatal accidents had no formal boater education. 73% were aged 36 or older. Boater safety education is required only for operators born on or after January 1st, 1988. 55% of all reportable accidents are due to collisions with fixed objects or collisions with other vessels. 64% of all reportable accidents are avoidable and in the operator's control. Alcohol use and speed are among the primary causes of accidents with fatalities. The power to pass Lucy's Law is in your hands, and the next generation is counting on us to create a safer future.
I'm Lucy's brother, and like her, I grew up on the water. In South Florida, it's a way of life. It's my family's favorite thing to do, but now I no longer feel safe. Right now, people who speed through no-wake zones, ignore right-of-way rules, or drive boats while drunk usually just get a fine, even if they cause serious accidents. Because there aren't tough penalties, many boaters don't think twice before breaking the rules. Stronger laws like the Lucy's Law would change that. If boaters knew they could lose their license, pay big fines, or even go to jail, they would be much more careful, just like drivers are on the road.
If I had a message to lawmakers about the importance of passing Lucy's Law, I would tell them about my personal experience as a coxswain for Miami Rowing Club for the past 5 years. I've seen firsthand how accidents happen and how horrible they can be. People can fly out of boats. There's all these collisions. We need to enforce a lot more education. We need to have harsher penalties for those that are violating these laws.
I just started driving, and I couldn't imagine being out on the road without a driver's license, without knowing what's going around. And I think that's even bigger of a deal out on the ocean where there's no street signs, there's no stop
It's crazy to think you don't have to have a license to operate a boat.
lights or anything.
It's important that everybody have their boater's ID so that everybody knows what to do when they're in these situations out on the water so that they can be safe and they can make sure that everybody around them is also safe.
Boating laws should have the same penalties as driving laws because reckless behavior on the water is just as dangerous, if not more, as it is on the road. Right now, people can speed, drink, and ignore basic safety rules while boating without facing the same serious consequences they would if they were driving a car.
So passing Lucy's Law would help keep everyone safer, not only boaters, but people who like to practice sports out on the water.
If the penalties match the severity of accidents caused by reckless boating, people would take safety more seriously. Passing Lucy's Law would close this gap and ensure that those who endanger others on the water are held accountable.
I know firsthand what it's like to lose someone you love, and I hope no one has to go through this pain. Now more than ever, change is needed, and I hope you guys stand with us in making Lucy's Law a reality.
Yeah, I agree, Mrs. G. You're on Instagram too, at Lucy Fernandez Foundation. So I just wanted to share that, but there's a great video here. I'm not gonna. Really good at narrating.
As Hurricane Katrina pummeled through Miami, my mom could hear the trees collapsing outside.
I can't watch it because I'll start sobbing and I gotta go to bed. Okay. Well, y'all don't be jealous, but we have a stupid luau at my work tomorrow. Oh my God. I don't have time for this stuff. Okay. I will. So I guess we won't be covering this until Monday. But be on the lookout. I'll be scheduling a live for Saturday. Probably Saturday night, I'm guessing. Yeah. I'm excited for y'all to see the interview with her. So yeah, I know, Mrs. G. Y'all got to go get those night masks with the Bluetooth headphones built in. But thank you all, and I hope y'all have a good one. I appreciate the likes, the subscribes, and the best of all is our chat. So thank you all so much. Am I going to? No, yes, a coconut bra, and I'm going to close every deal possible. No, I'm just wearing like a floral shirt. All right. Oh, I did have an older gentleman today was like, "Are you a model? You're always dressed so spiffy. Did you model for Sears?" He went from like here to here really fast. But thank you all, and I will see y'all soon. Good night.
I'm Leslie B, just a seeker, a story keeper, and we're still watching, waiting for justice.